I wanted to talk today about one of the most common mistakes that we make when we're really excited about someone, we're attracted, and we want to bring them closer to us. We want to turn it into something lasting. And maybe we feel like that person is either a little bit out of reach, or we feel like we're not entirely sure of how they feel about us, and we find ourselves investing more and more in them to try to secure the relationship. In the process, what happens is the things that are important in our life right now, whether it's our friends, our family, our hobbies, the things that give us a sense of value and identity in our lives, those things start to fade into the background as we make this person the focus of all of our attention. Why do we do this? Well, when we really want to find love and we suddenly meet someone who seems to epitomize everything we've been looking for, we've decided based on this person's qualities, characteristics, what they look like, how they act, that this is the love we've been looking for. All of a sudden it feels like there is nothing more important in the world than securing this thing. And we do the one thing in this moment that is the opposite of what we should be doing. We should be grounding ourselves in the things that are important in our own life.
I've done it, and I've lived through the pain of it, and you just have to ask yourself, whose will is stronger, me or this 100-pound woman who is naturally, genetically more emotional than me? Am I going to let her beat me at a game of will and strength of the mind when I know that she's naturally more emotional than me? That, and understand that if you start contacting her or blowing her phone up or watching her stories or phoning her mom and doing all of these things that are emotional actions, she's naturally going to be less attracted to you. And you're going to push her further and further and further and further away until she lands on something you don't want her to land on. And that's the dude down the street, right? So you have to know that it's going to take an iron will and mind to be able to do this, because there's no pain greater than heartbreak. But you're not doing yourself a service by begging a woman to come back or catering to her breaking the rules of your frame, because she's not going to respect you if you can't be strong enough to have her be inside your frame.
And if we want to be happy, we have to learn to value the right things. Now let's take this back to the dating scenario. When we value more than anything else the idea of finding a person to share our lives with, and then we meet a person who represents that dream in the flesh, all of a sudden we'll do anything to make that happen, even if it means losing or ignoring all of these other important parts of our life. And of course, when we ignore certain things, we lose connection to them and they don't feel as significant anymore. And of course, when we divest in them, they start to shrink because they're not getting love and attention from us anymore. What we have to do, which is very counterintuitive when we find something we really want, is double down on the meaning that we get from these other areas of our life. Whether it's your hobbies, your passions, your friends, your family, the ways you love spending your time, the books you love reading, the things you love to do, the things you love to learn about, your purpose. Those things are the things that, if you value them, will not only bring you a sense of perspective in your life, and you go, oh, my life is so much bigger than this one area. Of course, I would love for this person to reciprocate. I'd love for it to go somewhere, but if it doesn't, I have a big, rich life. These things are incredibly important to me, and I have those to fall back on.
So, I do believe respect equals love, and any man that wants to garner respect for a woman, particularly in a breakup, needs to be able to leave the phone dangling off the hook.
Just walk away.
Yeah, catch that rodeo cowboy, because guess what? In a few years, when you win the rodeo, the phone's gonna ring again. Then it's up to you what to do.
Yeah, and that part is really sad. At least in my experience, it was sad because
It's the worst part.
Yeah, I still care about her and I wanted her to be happy.
Yeah.
But there was no going back.
Right. Bro, and you can shock a woman that way. You know, I've had conversations like that. It's like, you know what? I don't even act like a hard ass. I'm really going to miss you. You know, I'm really going to miss you. Take care. And she's like, wait, what? That's it? Cold. Gotta be a G, bro. That's the game.
Ask yourself, can I allow this feeling? Can you allow it? As soon as you ask that question, you're jumping up into willingness to change it, to let go of it, to drop it. And what you'll notice here is just like allowing this feeling, right? Allowing the grief to come up and you're sitting with it, right? And you're just feeling it. You're not getting into the details here about who did what, about replaying the loop over and over. They shouldn't have done that, right? This judgment. You're just sitting there, you're breathing with it. And you're just trying to allow it. Even that right there gives the possibility of letting go. The next question, could I let this go? Again, willingness, neutrality right here, instantly, just sitting with it. And the last step is asking, would I let this go? Can I? Could I? Would I? Now, a couple points before we close this out, because I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, Clark, A, that is way too simple. There's no way my complex feelings that I've been feeling for a month or a week or whatever, that's too simple. But that's the resistance right there coming up, thinking that it has to be hard to make a change. That, you know, real change, lasting change takes tons of work and force, effort, struggle, that you don't get anything you don't work for in life, right? But so many people like intellectualize their problems to death to the point of where it becomes a story for them. And stories are way harder to change than emotions, right? It's kind of like actions, emotions, beliefs, stories, and then your identity at the level. Most people are running on like 5 to 10 core stories in their life, and that's really it. That's kind of scary.
If you meet someone who is attractive and they also represent the hope of adding a leg to the table, that is a really important one that you want to add to the table. Do the counterintuitive thing. Keep investing in these other parts of your life that give you confidence, that give you the sense that you can say no at any point if this person isn't right for you, if they're not treating you the way that you want to be treated, or if they're not giving you much energy. They don't have to be behaving badly, they might just be not giving you much energy. And you realize this isn't enough. What this person is giving me isn't enough for me to keep going. Just because someone impressive comes into your life, it doesn't mean that your world isn't important. It doesn't mean that who you are isn't important. It doesn't even matter if someone comes into your life and they've achieved more than you externally in the tangible results they've gotten. They earned more money than you, or they achieved a certain level of status that you didn't. Whatever it may be. Or even that you just think that they're better looking than you are.